There comes a time in life, usually quietly without announcement, when you begin to see things differently. You look around, or maybe within, and you realize that some of the things you once held tightly just don't matter anymore. Not the way they used to. Maybe you used to worry about what people thought of you. Maybe you pushed yourself too hard trying to meet expectations that were never yours to begin with. Or maybe you've carried regrets, small ones, big ones, for years, as if letting them go would mean forgetting who you were. But after 60, something inside starts to soften. Not in weakness, but in wisdom. You've lived through enough to know what's worth your energy and what isn't. And now you have the gentle right to lay some of those old burdens down. If you've ever felt the quiet tug of change, if something inside you is whispering, "Let it go now, it's time," then this space is for you. In this video, we'll talk softly and honestly about the things that no longer need to weigh you down. You won't be told what to feel. You'll simply be reminded that you're not alone in feeling it. So stay with me. Let's walk through these thoughts together, like two friends on a slow, peaceful path. You've carried so much in your life. Maybe now, it's time to let a little of it go. There was a time when we all felt the pressure to prove ourselves. Maybe it started when we were young, trying to be the best student, the most responsible child, the one who made the family proud. Then came adulthood, and that pressure took on new shapes. We had to succeed at work, raise children the right way, keep a clean home, stay strong no matter what. We pushed ourselves to meet expectations, many of which we never chose. And somewhere along the way, we began to believe that our worth was tied to how well we performed, how others saw us, or how much we got done in a day. But something changes as we grow older, especially after 60. Slowly, and often without realizing it, we begin to understand that the race we were running wasn't always ours to begin with. That we never needed to earn love or chase approval or explain our choices to people who were never really listening. What matters now isn't how many accomplishments we've collected or how perfectly we lived. What matters is that we've tried, that we've grown, that we've made it here with a heart that still feels even if it's been bruised. You are not your job title. You are not your mistakes. You are not a number on a scale or a line on your resume. You are a full, complex, beautiful human being who has walked through joy and sorrow. And you don't need to prove anything anymore. You're allowed to take off that heavy armor. You're allowed to stop chasing and just be. Sit in the sun. Breathe without guilt. Rest without apology. You've earned the right to simply be yourself. Quietly, confidently, without explanation. There's a kind of pain we carry that doesn't always show. Not on our faces, not in our voices, but it lingers quietly like a shadow on the heart. Old regrets, unspoken words, people who left or stayed too long, decisions we wish we'd made differently. Moments we replay, hoping somehow to rewrite them with the wisdom we only have now. You're not alone if there are memories that still sting, even after all these years. Maybe it was something you said, or something you didn't say. Maybe someone hurt you deeply, and they never truly understood what it did to you. Or maybe it's not one big thing, just a slow collection of little wounds that never quite healed. But here's the truth. After 60, the past can begin to feel like a heavy coat you no longer need to wear. It once kept you warm, or protected, or helped you make sense of where you'd been. But now it only weighs you down. You don't have to forget. You don't have to pretend it never happened. But you can loosen your grip. You can say softly and without anger, "I no longer need this pain to define me." There's power in forgiveness, not always for others, but for yourself. There's grace in saying, "I did the best I could with what I knew then." And there's deep freedom in choosing peace over replaying old battles. Imagine your heart as a room. You can keep the doors open for new light to come in, but to do that, you may have to sweep out some of the dust, not with bitterness, but with care. Make room for your own comfort, your own stillness, your own healing. You've lived long enough to know this. The past cannot be changed. but the way you carry it. That can be softened. That can be let go. As we grow older, something quiet but powerful begins to happen. We start to care less about what the world expects of us, and more about what truly brings us peace. For so much of life, we were shaped by expectations. Be a good spouse, be a strong parent, keep the house spotless, stay productive, smile, even when we were tired or hurting. Sometimes we wore masks we didn't even know we were wearing, just to keep the peace or fit in or feel needed. We lived for others, often putting our own needs last on the list. But now, at this age, there is a new kind of freedom waiting, if we're willing to claim it. After 60, we begin to understand that not every should needs to be followed. You don't have to go to every event. You don't have to explain why you'd rather stay home with a cup of tea and your thoughts. You don't have to keep pretending you enjoy something just to keep others comfortable. And you certainly don't have to meet anyone's idea of what aging well looks like. This is your time, your sacred, quiet time, to do what feels right for you, to move at your own pace, to say no without guilt, to rest without needing permission. Letting go of others' expectations doesn't mean you stop loving or caring. In fact, it allows you to love more freely, because it's no longer coming from obligation but from choice. You get to choose now how you spend your time, who you let into your space, what matters to your heart. You've spent decades giving yourself to the world. Now the world can wait a little while, because it's your turn to come home to yourself. There's something deeply spiritual about growing older, not in the religious sense alone, but in the quiet way life starts to speak to us differently. The rush slows, the noise fades, and suddenly, the simple things, a morning breeze, the sound of birdsong, the stillness of a quiet room, begin to feel like sacred moments. After 60, the soul begins to crave more than achievement or attention. It begins to crave peace. Not just the absence of stress, but the kind of peace that settles deep in your bones. The kind that says, I'm enough. Life is enough. Even with its flaws and losses, it's still beautiful. And to reach that kind of peace, something important must happen. We must let go of the need to control everything. We must release the belief that we can hold every thread together, that it's our job to fix what's broken in others, or carry the emotional weight of everyone we love. We start to realize we're not in charge of every outcome. We can love our children and still not live their lives for them. We can care about the world and still know our worry won't heal it. There is freedom in surrender, in trusting that life with all its unpredictability still has meaning. You are not alone on this path. Many of us reach this stage and realize we've spent years carrying fear, guilt, or the illusion of control, thinking it was love. But real love, real wisdom, knows when to hold on and when to open the hand. Let your soul rest. Let it breathe. You've done your part. You've cared. You've tried. Now is the time to lean into trust, in the goodness that still surrounds you, in the quiet grace that lives inside you. You don't need to have all the answers anymore. You only need to be present. That is more than enough. If you've made it this far with me, take a moment, just a quiet moment, to honor yourself, for listening, for reflecting, for being open to the idea that maybe, just maybe, it's okay to loosen your grip. Life after 60 isn't about giving up. It's about softening. It's about choosing peace over pressure, kindness over control, presence over perfection. You're not less than you once were. You're more experienced, more feeling, more free to live the way that feels right for you. You've walked through decades of being strong for others, carrying burdens you didn't always speak aloud. And yet here you are, still standing, still learning, still capable of change. So, let the old worries rest. Let the impossible standards drift away. Let the ghosts of regret return to the past where they belong. You are not here to be haunted. You are here to be whole. There's a deep beauty in this season of life, a slower, richer beauty that doesn't ask you to chase, fix, or earn. It just asks you to notice, to breathe, to find joy in small things, to live the rest of your days in the lightness of your truth, not the weight of your past. And if there are still things you struggle to let go of, that's okay too. Healing isn't always fast, but the intention to live gently, that's where peace begins. You've done enough. You are enough. And now, it's time to live like that's true. Thank you for spending this time with me. Wherever you are in your journey, may peace find you, and may you find comfort in letting go.